Okay, so when Trump came in, he said he was going to end the Ukraine war, and he said he wasn't going to start new wars. He got us into a war with Iran where he keeps changing the reasons. At first, it was to protect their citizens, then it was to stop them from getting nuclear weapons, and that's what it is now. And it was also meant lately to stop the Strait of Hormuz. Any real American knows all of this is bullshit. Now, gas prices are going up in America. The world economy is bad, and Trump says when I don't think about the hardships of Americans. I don't think about the American economy and the suffering Americans. I only think about Iran. Now, it doesn't have to be a contradiction. What he could argue is say that the economy of America is not important because what's more important is stopping Iran from having a nuclear weapon. That's a valid argument. But for him to say he puts America first and to just brush aside the fact that Americans are suffering shows disdain for them. And also, we know that his excuse is a lie. Iran never has had a nuclear energy
No,
weapon, and they
never.
never will. Trump broke Obama's agreement with Iran, where Iran wouldn't develop their nuclear facilities or their nuclear enrichment. He did that when he first came in office. So by doing that, by breaking a nuclear agreement, that's undermining and actually motivating Iran to build nuclear weapons. And they still didn't build nuclear weapons. Then he comes back in office and starts a war with them, which is bleeding America. And when people ask him, "Are you worried about? Do you think about American suffering?" He said, "No. If it were me, I would have been like, yes, I am worried, but this is a sacrifice we have to make to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon." He didn't even say that. He said it doesn't even come to my mind. So what he's basically saying to Americans is, "Fuck you. I'm doing my war," and he's saying, "I'm doing my war because of nuclear weapons." No, that's not why. Your son-in-law and your friends are making billions, trillions off of this war.
Oh, sure.
Uh,
Absolutely.
uh, the day before the war, weeks before the war, stock companies bet on the war industry that there would be a war, and in one day they made $390 billion. This war is to make the rich richer, and stupid motherfucking Americans are sitting down saying that's my president and we stand behind him, even though he doesn't care that we can't buy deodorant or meat anymore because we have to pay for gas. So the question is, Americans are stupid, and Trump is telling you to your face that you're stupid, telling you you don't matter, telling you you don't factor into his thoughts, and you're still sitting down here doing nothing. Meanwhile, he's rigging the elections through gerrymandering and everything else. So he's showing his disdain for Americans and he's getting away with it. What are your thoughts, Alex?
You know what makes this so terrifying? It's how it connects distant geopolitical chess moves straight to the kitchen of regular people, you know. The administration is definitely playing an abstract game, and it's really trying to outmuscle Iran, but by doing that, they're also costing the lives of American people, which are suffering based of those moves that they're making. Trump genuinely does not care. And I think that's what American people will realize later on when it's too late and there's nothing that they can do at that point, and you just have to accept. Because if you think about it, the middle class is totally wiped out at this point. Like, do you guys still have a middle class there, Mustafa? Is
I
there
don't
still a
think.
middle class
I
The
don't
middle
ever?
think
class,
so. There's
the
no
middle
middle
class,
class. There's no
the
middle
middle class
class.
is squeezed. The middle class is about to fall apart totally. It's squeezed. It's squeezed. There's still a middle class,
Definitely.
but it's not going to last. Things are really tight. And here's the thing: this war is not about muscling Iran. I keep saying it. This war, in order for America's economy, is based off of creating weapons. So they create wars just to sell weapons. So they need somebody to fight. So what they do is just like with Ukraine, they created the Iran war to create weapon industry, and also because Iran gives oil to China. If Iran is struggling, China will struggle because they don't want the dollar to go down. But what I'm saying is that the U.S. creates violence just for money. Same thing with drug dealing and school
Mm.
shootings. They don't do put gun regulations in America because the people who make guns want to make money. So what my argument is that in the U.S., it's not about, oh, let's go to fight Iran to defend America. It's about, oh, I need to make money, so let me start a fight somewhere so I can sell weapons. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh,
America creates wars so that people who create the weapons for wars make money,
Oh, sure.
and they don't care
Absolutely.
about the middle class.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. What are
Yeah.
your thoughts, Afalabi?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And it's been one of the top agenda on the CIA's strategy. Create wars, spend on defense, create chaos in the market, and then there's a boom for the defense contractors. The massive military buildup in the region requires a lot of hardware, military hardware. Now, there are billions of dollars flowing into defense procurement. This is not going to the working class, basically. It's going to land squarely in the pockets of defense contractors and well-connected corporate donors and influential politicians. So they're profiting off the volatility of the market, creating a frenzy in Wall Street, and then Trump's signature style, firing up threat one day and the next day he says something else. It creates a swing and a frenzy in Wall Street that basically produces a windfall that goes into the pockets of the donors as well as influential
Yeah,
politicians who have stock options as well as shareholdings in all these Raytheons and all these Lockheed Martins and defense
yeah,
contractors. So you're right about that. It's about creating wars, spend on defense, and create chaos in the market, basically.
yeah. And it's making money because Trump has made over 500 million,
He
five
has.
hundred billion. He's made a lot of money,
He
and
has.
and that's why he doesn't care about the regular citizens. He came in saying MAGA, put America first. Even I believed it. I'm still wearing my MAGA hat right here.
And this is contradicting the MAGA rhetoric from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. But what he'll argue is that it's the nuclear weapons, but we know that's a lie. We know
Yeah.
that's a lie.
It's nothing to
It's
do
not
with
about
nuclear
nuclear weapons.
weapons, no.
And if Iran has nuclear weapons, so what? Pakistan has them. Israel has them. Russia
Everybody
has them.
has them.
And now Iran needs to have nuclear weapons because you know what a nuclear weapon means? It means don't fuck with me.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
like
Yeah,
if you want to go beat up somebody and you see a gun in their pocket, what
sure.
do? You walk
Sure.
away, right?
Sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure,
So,
sure.
so in a
And that
strange
is
way,
why I feel Iran will now pursue actively a
yeah.
nuclear program because they know all the
And,
countries that
and
have nuclear weapons, they don't get fucked with.
yeah, and here's the thing: if every country in the world had nuclear weapons, there'd actually be peace, which is strange. You get my point? It's a paradox
Everything
because
cancels
no,
out.
because if you yeah, but the countries that get attacked, for example, why hasn't the U.S. attacked North Korea? Because they have nuclear weapons, and North Korea is
Yeah, they
peaceful.
would
They don't
never.
mess with anybody. Nobody messes with them. Well, last thoughts, Alex, before we get the hell out of here. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was very insightful.
Yeah.
I feel like when you strip away the flags, the political rhetorics,
Yeah.
and the media-driven morality plays, the stark structural reality of the 2026 geopolitical landscape becomes impossible to ignore. The machinery of empire is cannibalizing its own homeland, to feed
Yeah.
its banks and
Yeah.
defense
Remember, we did it
contractors
before.
like
We
Afolabi
did this
said.
before. Boomerang. Mhm.
Yeah,
But,
it's
yeah.
whether it is a devastating diesel depression, wiping out the American middle class, the structural starvation of the global south through weaponized grain blockades, or just all these things. I think the deep tragedy of modern warfare is that it is not designed to be won, but to be sustained, you know? It is a
Yeah.
self-perpetuating cycle of
Perpetual
violence
war.
and profit, yeah, that leaves nations hollowed out. So it's very scary to think about because like at this point they don't care about us normal people. They just care about the money and we're just gonna be, pushed aside, just there left to die and hang while AI does all the jobs and stuff. So
Yeah, and they
we're
even
dying.
in the U.S. they're talking about the guy who owns Palantir. He says that democracy doesn't work, so he can create a program AI that runs America, and I believe that's going to be the future. This shit is crazy. I
That
feel like,
is
do you remember
scary.
those movies like with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Terminator, and all that,
Yeah,
and
sure,
Matrix?
sure, sure, sure.
That's what we're heading to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so good show. Last thoughts. I follow you, then take us out. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they've basically strangled Medicaid, food assistance, at the expense of military campaign abroad. And this was what they said they would never do. There will be no foreign intervention. But now they're doing it to make a lot of bucks. And that bucks is not improving the life of the average American. It's going into the pockets of influential politicians who have stock options and shareholdings in the major defense companies, and how ironic it is for the MAGA base. And that's why the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene are complaining that this was not what it was all about. I don't know what Trump is doing, but basically, this is not MAGA, really.
Look, but more, make millionaires richer again. That's all it is. Make millionaires richer. MMA, make millionaires, MMRA, make millionaires richer again. All right, take us out of Fallout. We're done.
It's
We'll be
been
back on
another
Thursday.
brilliant political show. We've been discussing the Ukraine being used as a sacrificial lamb and a proxy, as well as the contradictory rhetoric of the MAGA base of doing one thing and doing diametrically opposite to what they are saying. And from Alex Mustafa, my name is Afolabi. We're back with some other political interesting stories some other time. Bye for now.
Yeah, I'll probably see you guys on Thursday. Thank you. Okay.
All right.